So do you think the government of Kenya will succeed in intervening in her case at this point, not to be prosecuted, not to be executed, I mean?
No, I don't think they can intervene. Vietnam is kind of more powerful than Kenya, right? And then if you look at the judicial system, you'll find that most of our African systems, people can easily get away with some crimes. But in this case, like, this is a developed country. So there's no way you can lobby them out of doing something that their law says should be done.
Welcome to Jimosi Podcast. So we'll be doing our weekly update as usual. So a lot of stories happened this week, and especially around South Sudan. And we're going to look at a couple of stories. So one of the stories, these powers of people just exercising anyhow. So it's a governor of Warrap state. His name is called Magong Ding. He's the governor of Warrap state. So what he did, he fired the state revenue officer. So a revenue officer is somebody like in charge of tax collection in a specific states. So this person was removed, and then he replaced him with his own son. So we're going to look at this, if it is actually a case of nepotism, or what led to this guy appointing his own son. So do you think it's really good to do that? If you were the governor, will you do that?
It's actually like nepotism pro max, because this is your son, and you cannot say in the whole of Warrap state, your son is the only one who's qualified to replace the National Revenue Authority Commissioner at the state level. I'm very sure there are many people who are more than qualified, but then because the position is not advertised and there's no, like, let's say if it was a tender, then people would be bidding for it, and now you pick the most qualified. Definitely the son is not the most qualified, and they picked him or appointed him to that position simply because that's their son, not because of any qualification. Also, they didn't even specify like why he fired the person that was serving as the commissioner for the state revenue collections.
For the state.
Yeah.
But again, look at it this way. This is your son. He's jobless. He has nothing to do. And at this point, we don't know the qualification of anyone. So let's just assume that this guy was qualified. He has all the credentials that he needs. Just for the sake of blood relationship, your son is not supposed to work in the same government?
No. Personally, I would not, because, that's where your competency comes into question, right? Because you have so many people, like the state has more than 1 million people. Out of 1 million people, you cannot say there's no one who's more qualified than your son. And also because you are the appointing authority, it automatically makes it seem like even if your son was the most qualified, you are kind of applying nepotism in giving job opportunities. It's good enough that you have a job. So your son should not be given a job because maybe he's jobless and you have the position to give him something to do. Set a business up for him. Open an accounting firm if he's someone well versed with the tax laws and how to run that office.
Yeah, but if you look at it keenly, this is an ethical dilemma, because let's say your son is qualified, like we mentioned. It's not like he's being appointed and he's not qualified. So he's qualified, have all the necessary documents that are needed, but again, he's jobless. He needs to feed his family. And what you are collecting as a person, because if his son is old enough to be appointed as a state revenue officer, then this is an old person. It's not like a young person that is going to be a dependent on your budget at home. So this person need to feed. I'm pretty sure maybe the guy was married and was having his own family.
Most likely.
Yeah. Is qualified, he has all the necessary documents, he's the right person that can do the job.
And he has a family.
He has a family to feed. It's not a dependent on your budget. So you sit there, He need a job, right?
He can always look for a job somewhere else. Why must he be given the position where you fired someone? It's like that was the motive behind you removing someone in office to create a job opportunity for your family. Yeah.
Okay, now that we are going to leave the ethical dilemma, put it aside, and just look at the general country and the way that things are done. In the aspect of the country in general, did you think he did anything wrong?
If you were to look through the lenses of Babaki Rabido, then he has not done anything wrong because he's learning from the master. Kidid has been firing and appointing, recycling people.
And even appointing people
related to him,
close to him, in higher position of the government. And even, look, is it his uncle, Thick Mayadit?
I think his nephew.
Yeah.
His nephew. Yeah.
That person is serving in a Central Equatorial government.
Come on, mayor.
Yeah. Why is he serving there? He's from Warrap state. So we need to be a mayor. He should be a mayor in Warrap state, not in Central Equatoria. So they think come from the fish is rolled from the head. So Iki talk like from the top of the country, trickling downward.
Yeah.
So looking at the general aspect of the country, he has not done anything wrong. But looking at it ethically, he didn't do it right.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing that he would have done. But again, like I just read something a few minutes ago, and it said that he has also fired a town mayor.
Okay.
A person called Aku town mayor. So now all the citizens are confused. Everyone like, who's the next person to be fired?
Okay.
And
is he planning to replace him with one of his daughters?
Yes, he's likely to do that. Oh, before I forget, do you remember last time there's a story that you might have read of somebody that said, if you lobby me out, and I happen to find out is you that did that, I'm going to deal with you.
I think it's the same person.
Yes, it's the same person.
That if you lobby and I get fired, and then I find out you're the one who lobbied me out of the office,
yes,
I will deal with you perpendicularly.
Yeah. So now see what all that he's doing. He has fired the town mayor. He has fired a state revenue officer, replacing him by his son. All this, if we keep firing people, even with nobody lobbying him out, Kir will just replace him because Kir is the appointing authority. He appoints you today, remove you tomorrow based on his mood. So there are chances they might be removed because there are a lot of people are looking for a job and it might be a victim of lobbying.
Also the fact that he's been kind of acting out, like firing here and there, and also replacing someone with their own son. He's already like on the bad record.
Yeah.
So if people keep on witnessing the same kind of malpractice, they might go to the streets. And at this point, I find that Kidid is becoming very impatient with people. So if you keep on disturbing his peace of mind, he has bigger things to worry about. He will just fire you and let you go. Do whatever it is that you want to do after this.
Yeah.
But then he will replace you with someone else. And the cycle continues.
Yeah. So going back to his story and nepotism, the nepotism at workplace.
Yeah.
Rajot, the nepotism only apply to the public sector or a private sector where you are not the owner.
Okay.
But if it is a private property where you are the owner, take for example, you have a private hospital. Is yours.
Yeah.
It's you that build it. You have the appointing authority of appointing anyone in your family to run it because it's a personal business.
Yes.
But now, if it is a private entity, a private hospital for somebody else,
owned by someone else,
but then you are a manager, and then you now start hiring people that are related to you, this will now become nepotism again.
Yes.
So nepotism only refer to when you are working for somebody else and you are employing
your own people. Yeah.
But if it is your own, even if you employ the whole family, No, that one does not qualify as a nepotism.
Yeah, and you know why it's like that? That's because, let's say, in the public office, like for the case of this governor of Warrap state, that public service or the public sector is supposed to be for everyone. And so any type of employment opportunities that come up, they have to be advertised, and then people have to apply for that position. And then there has to be a rigorous exercise in terms of interviewing people to find the best person to suit that
That's
job.
how it's supposed to be,
Yes,
but
that's how
that's
it
not
should be.
how they are done.
Yes, that's not
in the
how they do
entire
it in
country.
South Sudan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I'm talking in terms of why that is considered as nepotism, because there was no open advertisement for people who are qualified to apply. And then you just handpicked someone simply because they are related to you. If, let's say, they were qualified and everyone applied and they did interviews and you are not the one interviewing them, and then the interviewing committee found that your son is the most qualified, there will not be any problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, unajua, we are all contributing to nepotism in South Sudan in general, because like if you go everywhere, we'll say, man diake kwainam, man wan madike kwainam, man yan kuike kwainam. There's a lot of nepotism going on, and in this case, yeah, it's bad that his case has come to the public, but he's not the only one. Like literally everybody is doing the same thing, and it will need to come to an end, but when will it end? Nobody really knows, but it's something that everybody is guilty of. A lot of people are doing it.
Yeah, it's not even just nepotism or seeking favors in terms of getting a job at a certain place. It even comes down to, let's say, at the airport. You remember when we went there, if you are going to exit, if you have someone that you know, they will serve you quickly, just remove you from the bottom of the line. And then you don't even have to align like other people.
Yeah.
You just walk straight to the cashiers or to the servers and you get in. But then there's that one person, maybe even like a pregnant woman who doesn't know anybody there, has been standing on the line for 2 hours. So those are some of the favors that need to come to an end.
Yeah, that's what we need to do, but it's actually very hard because the people that are receiving the service always go and brag about it.
Yeah.
That this one happened, and then all of a sudden skip the whole line, and then
You didn't even stand in line.
Yeah, and then you praise the person that did that. But when you look at it critically and carefully, you realize that if everyone was to come with person that they know, and then there's that one person that will just remain in line, how would you feel about it as a human? Live about, because it's not like most of these services are not emergency that you actually need to be attended that quickly. And at the end of the day, even if you are at the end of the line, everybody will be served.
Yeah.
And
or you'll get into the plane.
Yeah. So it's a lot of bullshit that happens in our society, and it will take a lot of time for us to actually realize that these one are not actually good. But it will take time. That's what I can say.
Yeah, it's just like the way you said it, like the fish starts rotting from the head and then it goes to the tail and the rest of the body. So if we have like some strong leadership at the national level, let's say from presidency level to ministers, and then it will trickle down to all the states and up to the chiefs, officers, you'll find that everyone will kind of align with the law and you'll keep on following the law instead of breaking them. And you'll see even this practice of trying to seek favor in order for you to get high quality services at the expense of everyone else. You'll find that people are serving you wholeheartedly and efficiently. So you'll not even be in a rush to get whatever you want done to be done.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And there's another story in Yale happened. This is an excitement investment. So there's this person called Bibi Ali. Bibi Ali, I don't know, like seem like to be Mon Barkadal.
Yeah.
But the name itself,
it sounds like those.
yeah, the name itself, you can't really categorize it into any tribe or any community, but it's likely it's from Barkazal.
Yeah.
So a day ago, his son was showing up their mansion in Juba.
Okay.
And this guy called Bibi Ali was actually in Australia. And then I think when South Sudan got independence, or when the peace deal was signed, I'm not sure of exactly when he went to South Sudan, but probably after 2005.
Okay.
When there, his things are doing okay. He built a big mansion, man. And then it was on the phone in that video that you guys are going to see later. It was on the phone, but then his son came and then he said, okay, he's on the phone, and then he left. He was just doing some deals, right? Rich people on the phone is not just, they're not talking about community issues. They're talking about big deals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was actually a big mansion. And I'll look at it in two ways. Alafu nitakuuliza hiyo swali that Bibi Ali,
Probably one of my favorites.
do you think is polygamous? Akona bibi wawili? Ama do you think akona moja?
I'm not sure. It seems like he only has one wife. I don't know. She has a name that sounds like Chagai, something like that. Or he's the one called Chagai, but there's someone called Chagai, something like that.
The wife or the man?
The wife. I've seen him with only one woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all seem fairly old. Maybe the woman is in their 50s and baby looks like 60s. Yeah.
So you're not sure if polygamous or not?
No, I'm not sure, yeah.
But based on the investment?
I think he's monogamous.
Yes. Because
polygamy cannot allow you to have resources to invest while taking care of
the in-laws everywhere will be crying, oh, we need this. So the high chances this guy is monogamous, not polygamous, because for you to establish yourself and do something really big, yeah, man, when you are polygamous, it take a toll on you.
Yeah.
And based on some of the videos that I've seen in the past, he's always with that one wife.
Yeah.
So the high chances he only has one wife and the investment itself.
I think I saw their anniversary post some time back. They have been together for quite some time, I think over 30 years or so. So they've been investing. They're actually into I think apart from real estate, they're also into aviation. He has some planes. They were using those planes to ferry people from Khartoum when the war broke out in Sudan. They would go to Reng and then bring people.
Oh, okay.
And also at some point, I think he donated like over $100,000
US to South Sudan basketball, men basketball team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy is doing a lot, but yeah, he's doing a lot, but yeah. So to me, this idea of aviation, I always question it, man. But if people don't do anything, right? There's nobody that will just come out of nowhere and come do things the right way. There are these people that will bring in old planes that are not supposed to be running.
That are grounded in other countries. Yeah.
They have a lot of safety issues, but with time, they will keep on improving. That's how things start. We don't expect them. All of a sudden, they have Bombardier or they have Boeing that is the latest. It will not be possible. So they have to start somewhere, but they will have to keep reinvesting if they want to provide a quality thing.
Yeah.
And okay, now hiyo story tukiweka kando ya investment. Tukikuja kwa hii do you think based on his success, unafikiria watu wa majuu wanastahili kutoka funga virago success iko South Sudan ama?
No. Personally, I would not say that. Like right now, I'm not in that position. Let's say if I was to move back home, I would definitely want to be there sometime. But maybe after retirement. Or like I have to get some money.
When is retirement?
50, 55. I still have about 20 years.
65?
Well, you can retire at any age, right? So long as you have money.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I can do at the moment, as Nyandi
Yeah.
is to look for money, make some savings, start some investments on the ground, and then once zikianza kujipa, that's when you can move back. At least move back to your home country when you have established something for yourself. Aside that when you go there, you are not going to look for a job. Once kuteseka, you start tamarking, and then you think of the thousands you used to make abroad, and then you're like, let me go back to Canada.
So do you think that's what Bibi Ali did?
I think he
set up
invested.
something before he came?
Yes, I think like he had some sort of money, tangible assets, and some cash to go and invest. Or probably hata alianza kujenga before moving from Australia. And then he went to the ground, and maybe he's a tenderpreneur, I don't know. So he ended up making some connections here and there. Na biashara ikaboom. And that's why he's able to stay there comfortably. Yeah. But I'm sure he still has his citizenship in Australia, right? Vitu zikiumana, he can always go back. Yeah. But I don't think he just picked up his luggage and then I'm
Plug
going back to
himself
South.
and then he went.
Yeah, you cannot do that.
Yeah. So I'm going to look at it this way.
What about you? Like, do you think you can just decide? Me, kama Jema guy, I'm tired of waking up at 6 a.m. Let me go back home.
So you are tired of waking up in the morning, and then you are going to wake up, wake up late, and you will be rich. No, the thing is, kitu ya kwanza,
Okay.
people are not all the same. Bibi Ali, there's high chances is connected with the power.
Yes.
Is from Barkadal.
Very
So
much so.
when he left, he had a connection of getting this, either it is just a tender to build some small houses for the government, and then it's rewarded.
Yeah.
So if you have no connections with the main government, the Kir clans,
They won.
then don't move there, because the South Sudan is where people get rich. If you have no connection, what you're supposed to do, like what you said earlier, you start now by investing slowly, and you should have a clear goal of what you're going to do. Otherwise, if you just do that and move there, I'm telling you, after 2 years, you'll be back here.
Yeah.
And if you just say you're going to do business, and you have never done any successful business, the high chances is going to fail and you will come back again.
Maanza kuongea ka Khalif Cairo. That over 60% of Kenyans have never done business and will never.
Yeah, so you have to plan yourself. People are not all the same. So I will not say watu wa majuu sasa muanze kuenda.
Yeah.
But at the same time, si watu wote, not everybody here in Maju or in abroad will go back home.
True.
Some of them will grow old, die here. Some will go home. Lakini kila mtu tu na kalenda yake.
Yeah.
Kitu anataka kufuata. So it's up to you. Because, yeah, if you want to go, you can go. But what I've seen a lot of people, because sometimes I watch some of YouTube videos about returnees that go back to Africa from different part of the world.
Yeah, like Africans, not just South Sudanese.
Not South Sudanese, like Africa in general, be either which part of the country.
Yeah.
These are people that have always seen an opportunity of what they are going to do
True.
in the community. And then they don't just wake up one day and go.
Yeah.
They start by planning it. Unajenga vitu, unajenga, and then you go.
And then you get capital here to go and start, let's say,
Yes.
if it's a business.
Uh-huh.
You
And-
set up the structure and then have the funds ready.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And some of them have actually gone into the farming, modern farming,
Yeah.
agribusiness. That's what I've seen most of them people doing. None of them is going back and starting up like
Going to look for
pop
a job.
shop or how do you call it, mama pop shop, something like that.
Like those small.
Yeah, that's not what
Small
they go
scale
to do.
shopkeeping,
No,
yeah.
they don't go do that. They start, let's say if somebody is planning of rearing goats, what they will do, they will build a place, fence it, buy feed, buy even up to 100 goats before they actually go there. And then They even put a
Employ
solar
someone.
system there. They put a ball there. So when they go there, everything is running.
Yeah.
And then they just go pick up from there. So if someone is planning of doing there, I like one thing that I actually love right now is the evolution of YouTube or the internet.
Yeah.
The way that the YouTube is so available. If you focus on the right things, watch the right channels, get the right knowledge, you will be actually be more empowered of doing the right thing and moving
you'll
back
get
home.
different options.
Yeah,
And
of
then
what
you
to do.
Yeah, like maybe you had a small thought of an idea of what you might want to do, and then you see someone living your dream. Then you get even more inspired
Yeah.
to venture into the same thing. And then now, if you look at different people doing the same thing differently, then you can even get a blend of A and B to form your own.
Yeah. And coming back to the story of
Bibi
Bibi Ali. The name itself, Bibi Ali, is connected with that's a Muslim name or Arab's name. Unaona?
Ali, yeah.
And Bibi, and if you look at him, this is somebody that's come like from a community that do trading or do businesses. So it was easy for him to blend in. Maybe his father or his grandma or somebody in his family had done a business before.
Yeah, and he actually looks lighter compared to most South Sudanese. Yeah. Like typical South Sudanese.
Yeah, so I think it also goes with his name, right? So these people are sometimes business minded.
Yeah.
So, but again,
Or he has been to Khartoum. You never know. Maybe he grew up there.
And yeah, we're not discrediting him. We're actually applauding him for what he's doing.
Yes.
But I've seen people that try to discredit him, that he had nothing when he was in Australia. But now that all over, it might be some bad deals here and there, but why are you not going to go and do that, right?
You need connections to do things.
But it's good sometimes not just to
Yeah.
discredit everybody, right? So
Yeah. I saw someone this morning complaining about being blocked from entering J1.
so
And
you
then
see,
they're like, so and so went and in at the file gwenge.
yeah. So anyway, our next story ni story ya kuna Mkenya that is facing prosecution in Vietnam.
Okay.
She was caught, or is it allegedly, but she has been
charged.
She has been found guilty in the court, right? So that she was carrying drugs. But in Vietnam, the sentence or the judgment for drug trafficking is death, execution. So for the last 2 days, people have been up and down, especially people on social media, pressuring the government of Kenya to intervene on their behalf to the government of Vietnam if they can do something in the process to avoid her being executed.
Yeah.
So do you think the government of Kenya will succeed in intervening in her case at this point, not to be prosecuted, not to be executed, I mean?
No, I don't think they can intervene. You know, Vietnam is kind of more powerful than Kenya, right? And then if you look at the judicial system, you'll find that most of our African systems, people can easily get away with some crimes. But in this case, like, this is a developed country. So there's no way you can lobby them out of doing something that their law says should be done, because it's going to set a different precedent of how things are being done. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to succeed. And also I saw like there's this Mzungu. He usually posts a lot of Kenyan content. I don't know how he's connected to Kenya. Maybe he's been to Kenya severally. And
does he actually talk, or is it the profile that is Mzungu?
He does talk.
Okay.
Like, yeah, his profile is Mzungu, and then he posts his pictures, videos of himself, and then he even knows some Swahili.
Yeah, because a lot of people do impersonation, right?
No,
so
like, this is the person himself. I follow him. So I saw one of the posts this morning that he was saying the response, that's what people are saying, is how the Vietnam government responded, saying that this is how we do things in our country. And if you look at your own system, how many Vietnamese have you pardoned wenye walishikwa due to different type of breaking laws or for whatever reasons? So there's no way we are going to pardon someone or extradite them to your country.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if she was from America? Do you think it will be a different case?
Most likely, because America is a powerful state, right?
Yes.
And they'll have like some bargaining powers. Yeah.
They will say, we are going to sanction you, we are going to put tariff on your country, we are going to do this. So it's better if you guys...
companies back to our country.
Yeah. But again, the US can give all the threatening, right? But they might say, yes, we know this person has committed a crime.
Yeah.
This is a crime that we don't even pardon in our country. But what we'll do, bring it to us and we'll imprison him for life. We'll imprison her for life, because in our country, it's imprisonment for life.
Yeah.
So instead of you guys killing her, bring it, we'll put her in jail for the rest of her life. So the Vietnamese will see, okay, she's not getting out of the system, right? She's going to another prison. And the US does not play around with the drug trafficking laws. So they might see, okay, it makes some sense here. But in Africa...
And also appear like the type of economic sanctions that might befall them if they default or refuse to do what the US wants.
Yeah, exactly. Because they might lose a lot in terms of money, which is bigger than one life of a person, right?
Yeah.
If they compare it with how many people die in a year in Vietnam. So, okay, this is not... They will look at a lot of things, and it makes economical sense. They will just give it to US and say, okay, but we want to see her in jail. But again, if she was found carrying her drugs, as of now, I really don't know what type of drug she was carrying. But one of the biggest drugs that is always punishable by a lot of laws, right?
Yeah.
But how much was that drug worth for you to risk your life that much? Was it like 100 million USD?
I think I heard some people saying something like 3 kgs.
3 kgs of something.
Like 3 kgs of cocaine or so.
Yeah, but it can turn into millions, right?
That's a lot of money.
When it is sold, And then now you come and sit and say risk and rewards. If she was successful with whatever that she was doing, and she collect 100 millions, or let's say 2 million US dollars, will that not change
their life?
Their life for the entire next generation?
You know, the thing with breaking laws, you keep on repeating them. Because you'll see, if I got away with 3 kgs worth of cocaine, then the next round, I can try maybe 10 kgs, and then I'm going to get 10 million. And before you know it, you become like a habitual.
Yeah, so what always... most people when caught, they will say I was just doing it for one time to change my life. But if it is successful, what people will do, they keep changing the goalpost of their dream success. They say, okay, now with this 2 million, I'm able to buy in, let's say, in Kenya. If they made another 2 million, they're able to buy in Malaysia, they're able to buy in Singapore, they're able to buy in different part of the world. So now dream become bigger, that you just want to make more and invest in more places.
Yeah, and you forget the fact that whatever you are doing is against the law. And if you are caught, then you are in deep shit.
Yeah.
And also, like, something that I was thinking of when I was looking at the story from different sources on social media is that, could it be possible that she was doing that on behalf of somebody else? Like, could there be a possibility that
Yeah,
yeye ni mtu wa mkono?
There are high chances that's the thing, right? That's the truth. But again, look at it this way. Okay, I don't know where she was originating from.
Like where she
Yeah, before she was
started the
intercepted in
travel.
Vietnam. Was she coming from Kenya? Was she coming from other part of the world? If she was coming, but I don't think it was from Kenya, because if it was from Kenya, they will say, just sell it in Kenya.
Yeah.
Why take it to another market? So she might have been coming from a country where that substance is in excess supply, that doesn't make financial sense, that has to be taken to the next market to bring in more money. So maybe that's what she was doing. But again, look at it. Let's say if it is cocaine. Do Kenyans have the ability to make their own cocaine? Their own cocaine
You never
is
know.
it's not possible. There are few countries that are able to make cocaine, and they are known, and then they just give it to other people. So these other part of people are just suppliers. So maybe she happened like she was told to carry, and then just backfire. I don't think it was her own.
Yeah,
She was
I'm
to get
also
her
thinking
commission
the
out
same.
of it.
Yeah.
But the big drug dealers don't actually carry those.
Yeah, they
Are
don't.
these small people
They
that they
use
say,
other
do
people.
this, I'll cut you this, and then it's like there was nothing ongoing with your life, right? So you take the risk. But anyway, life is at
It's
risk.
not worth risking, right? If you know whatever you are doing is going to bring you into conflict with the law, just don't do it. Because, nimeona like a lot of interviews of people who've been to prison and how that changed their perspective about life, how people take their liberty for granted. The fact that you can just wake up and then go out of your house and tembea, and then you come back without restrictions. When you are in prison, you are in prison. You cannot even go somewhere. Huwezi toka nje ya hiyo gate until you are kind of discharged or released. So some things, if you look at them, and then this is clearly something that's going to go against the law, then just don't do it.
Yeah. So it take like exposure or experience to actually understand and appreciate the kind of freedom that you have. Like the way that you mentioned, if you are in prison, you are given a program like you are in boarding school, and even boarding school is better because you walk in the sun and then you come back. There, as much as people are trying to look for money, afadhali ukue maskini kuliko ukue jela and then be killed or something happen to you, because out of poverty you can actually do something that's not criminal to take you out of poverty. You don't need the quick riches. These quick riches don't last, and they always have a lot of consequences.
Yes, they have a price that you need to pay.
Yeah,
it might not be immediately, but it will catch up with you someday.
So that's an unfortunate thing. Hopefully Kenya will succeed in helping her, but if not, I don't know what to say.
I think it should be a lesson, like, to anyone who might be kind of thinking of doing a similar thing, that there are some rules that you don't just break and walk away with them. Because if you look at how the system plays, some things you just don't break them in another country. If, let's say, in your country, even within your country, these big politicians, they've broken some rules, and then they still kind of even occupy these big government offices. But kama wewe ni mtu wa kawaida, utashikwa na maisha yako itaishia hivyo. So just try as much as possible to stay on the right side of the law, follow the laws, do what you need to do to earn a living legitimately, in a legitimate way.
But so with the kind of media attention that it has got, especially social media, I'm happy, because coming off social media is actually helping. Now a lot of people will see that.
Yes.
And they will see the consequences of such kind of things.
Yeah.
So in future, or there are low chances of people not repeating the same mistake, right?
Yeah.
But it was the old way. You know, such kind of stories will be controlled by the main media.
Yes.
And if it is aired out by that media, maybe it will just be one media and it will not reach everybody. But now with social media, kila mtu ako na simu yake.
Yeah.
And the same message is hitting you in the face.
Yeah.
Which is good thing about social media. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to get the same message and they will appreciate the kind of liberty and freedom that they have at the moment.
Yes.
And our next story ni kuna huyu jamaa anaitwa Mike.
Okay. I think jina yake real ni Angu is something.
Yeah. Okay. So his nickname is Mike. So what he did, the inflation in South Sudan right now.
Okay, what is his position, kwanza?
He's a government
military
soldier,
personnel.
military something. I really don't know his actual ranks.
He's a colonel, I think.
But I don't know what colonel actually mean.
Okay.
Like, because you have to know the hierarchy, right? This is the highest, number 2, number 3. The ujue sasa colonel ni number 5 and number 7.
He's a high-ranking military personnel. So
yeah, let's say like that. So he gave the black market dollars dealers 72 hours to reduce the exchange rate or what?
Go out of operation. I don't know.
Okay. Do you think exchange rate is something that can be brought down by the crackdown on the black market dealers?
I don't think so. Personally, I think, like, based on what I have read and watched about the economy, currency and stuff, exchange rate cannot be controlled by the black market.
Yeah.
The controlling factors are like zinaitangwa market something. So demand and supply. But then on top of that, you have to be producing something as a country. Right now, the only thing South Sudan is producing is crude oil. Crude oil is not something substantive that you can depend on fully as a country to pay your expenses, government expenditure, and to provide services too. You need to be able to export some goods and services to other countries so that you get money in exchange. And then that money, you can inject it into the economy and your economy will thrive as you recycle the currency and continue producing sufficient goods and services.
Yeah, that's true the way that you have explained. Because dealing with the black market exchange people, no, you don't beat down inflation like that.
Yeah.
Because these are not the problem. These are not the people with that problem.
They're actually just doing their job.
So the reason why there is inflation is because there's high demand for US dollars, but there's less supply of it. A lot of people want dollars. Lakini dollars zenyewe haziko.
In limited supply.
They're not excessively available. So how do the government make sure that hii kitu yenye watu wanataka iko in excess ni ya production? If you have something that you can sell to the outside world so that you can get dollars in returns, that's one way.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the local production. So that these traders that go to Uganda to go buy goods, go buy everything, bring them to the country, they will have to exchange the SSP, South Sudanese pounds, into dollars to go to the next country and buy stuff.
Yes,
you
because
see?
They cannot use pounds in Uganda.
This is where you have created another demand for the US dollars. There are people that have their kids, their families, medication, all of them outside South Sudan. All these people need dollars to be sent outside. So there's excessive demand of dollars that is pushing up the exchange rate and devaluating the South Sudanese pounds. If let's say if you come to the maize flour, the beans, the cooking oil, there's production in South Sudan, then nobody actually need US
import
dollars to go outside and buy things, then there's low demand for the US dollars.
Yes, because people will technically buy from the local producers
With
using
their own pounds, you see. So now when there's less demand for a dollar, South Sudanese pounds will be stronger.
Yeah.
But how do you make sure that hata hii local production is sustainable? You need good roads.
Yeah.
You need electricity that can sustain industries that can produce the oil. Like
manufacturing and processing industry.
yes, you need a lot of power. You don't need generators.
Yes.
So this thing is too complicated for these Cornell people just to think that the issue is these black market dealers. No, it's not them.
No, I feel like they think black market are spoiling the business for the central bank, because if you have someone who's connected to someone at the central bank, then you easily get dollars from there, and now you come and sell it to people expensively. You get more pounds, you go to the bank, buy dollar at a cheaper rate, and then you go and recycle it again.
So do you now see where they're supposed to be dealing with? They're supposed to be dealing with the people at the central bank,
Yes.
so that those people don't make dollars easily available to these other people.
Yeah.
Number two, if central bank want to regulate this thing, they will say anybody that need dollars come to central bank or come to Bank of South Sudan, and you will get dollars at the right exchange rate for SSP.
Yes.
And if everybody go there and then you get dollars,
At the
the
same
black
rate.
market people will not have any business.
Yeah.
So if we see it at that angle, then the people that is supposed to be dealing with are the people at the central bank or at the Bank of South Sudan. But lakini unajua South Sudan watu wengi hawajasoma.
Yeah.
Mtu tu anakaa tu hivi anasikia kwa black market dollar ndio wanafanya hii. So it's a lot of bullshit. You just have to think logically and look at where these all problems are coming from.
Yeah.
This is why I always say this has something to do with the local production.
True.
Yeah.
Like you cannot be importing almost everything and then you expect to be okay
Yeah.
internally. There has to be some things that are produced locally.
Yeah.
And then even with those things being imported, let's say from Uganda, you import including vegetables.
Yeah.
Those vegetables, some of them will go bad because they are perishable, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have the right conditions under which you are transporting them, let's say refrigerated lorries. So by the time they reach the market, most of them are spoiled. So what happens? These people will sell those few products that they get at a high rate so that they make a profit for them to get the dollars and go buy again to replenish their shops.
Yeah.
And that's where the currency revalues itself.
Exactly. And ukiona hii issue ya local production yenye tulikuwa tunaiongelea, when you look at some states that do their local production like Western Equatoria, they don't complain of food prices because they are producing their own food in excess in a bio at a cheaper price. If you go to the northern Barkazal, the site of Awil, where I've seen a lot of people doing a lot of onions production, their onions are not sold at the same price that people are buying here in Juba. There are few states that are literally doing nothing. And this is where the inflation is hitting them hard. Jangule, Central Equatoria, Eastern Equatoria, Unity states, those ones where people are fighting every now and then. They don't give themselves time to do farming, right? So that's what they should expect.
And also, like I saw from some of the videos that their land is not that great. It seems extremely dry and cracked and stuff. So like people actually need to take some time, at least allow peace to take place so that they are able to plant things like trees, and those trees will be able to attract rain and also make the place relatively cold compared to how it is at the moment.
Yeah, if you
That's a
listen to
lot.
people, there's a lot of excuses everywhere. Because if you look at Egypt, Egypt is dry.
Drier than South Sudan.
Yes. Like they produce food in excess because they use
Irrigation.
River Nile water for irrigation. Our country is not that dry. And that the same River Nile
passes through most of the country. Like it
so now
cuts it
you
into
see,
half.
we are in a country where people like complaining. Even those places they say they are dry, River Nile is passing there.
Yes.
It's just take an individual, or it's just a matter of peace. These people,
There
everybody
needs to
should
be
just
some security.
Yeah.
And then if you are not worried about an external or internal attack from your enemies, then you even have time like to do other things like farming and make your life better. But when you're constantly fighting, like looking to see when is the enemy going to attack and all that, you'll not be at peace and you'll not do
you
some
don't
things.
settle down.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It will be like advising people not to do, but to me, like if people are always fighting in your states, South Sudan is a country for everybody. Go to a state that you see is peaceful and you can do something there for decades.
Yes.
You just move. Yes, it's your ancestral land as you claim it, but you don't have to die in your ancestral land. You can move to another part of the states. When people are tired of fighting and they have all, you can always come back.
Yeah.
That land is not going anywhere. It's not like people chased you away because you left when people were fighting.
You did not defend your land.
No, it doesn't work like that. So, and that's it for Jimosi Podcast Weekend Update. Please consider subscribing.
Weekend update.
Weekly update. Please consider subscribing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See you next week.